Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, President Biden sets a deadline to compromise or move forward with COVID relief without Republicans. When that is and what his new executive orders on immigration mean. Coming up. And Congressman Kevin McCarthy meets with Representative Majorie Green as he faces demands to remove her from committee assignments after Senator Mitch McConnell condemned her so-called loony lies as a cancer on the party. Plus, community members in California City are still not giving up hope as they gather to pray for the safe return of 2 young boys. The latest on this devastating case and the exhaustive investigation by multiple agencies. This is Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. Good morning, 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen. Alex Fisher will join us from home in just a few minutes. And we have a lot to get to this morning, but first your forecast. And we're checking in with Kevin this morning as we head into this Wednesday.
Good morning, Maddie. Not a lot happening. We've got some clouds and we could see a few sprinkles around the valley and into the mountains. And then this will push on out and we'll be looking at sunny skies return. Let's show you the satellite radar right now, and you can see some of these clouds around the area. We've actually been able to squeeze out a few light showers out of Tehachapi, even though it's not being picked up on radar. And as we go throughout the day, we may pick up right around between a trace and maybe 1/100 of an inch out of some areas of the Tehachapi area and up near the Kern River Valley. All other areas we'll just see a few drops, and that's about it. And you can see downtown it is dry. We've got 52 degrees, a northwest wind at 3 miles per hour. Hour by hour, we are expecting to see some clouds throughout the day and temperatures in the upper 50s by the afternoon. And here's a look at Tehachapi right now. And again, it looks like there might be even a little bit of low-lying clouds, some light fog, but I did see a few sprinkles not long ago. 43 degrees on the temperature, a west-northwest wind at 12. And here are the winds, and we are expecting the winds to continue throughout the mountain region throughout today. And that's why we've issued a wind advisory until 7 p.m. this evening, so keep that in mind. And you can see here hour by hour, the winds will continue to blow, and temperatures are expected in the 40s throughout the afternoon. I'll have more on your forecast. That's coming up in just a bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Kev. We now have a deadline to get those stimulus checks in the mail or in your bank account. President Biden wants COVID relief done by mid-March, but what he's pitching is still billions of dollars beyond what Republicans will support. Tracy Potts has the latest on that, plus the president's new immigration orders.
Maddie, good morning. President Biden insists he is not using executive orders to make an end run around Congress. In fact, he signed those orders just before visiting Capitol Hill last night. President Biden at the U.S. Capitol paying respect to the police officer who died in last month's riot. As the president does battle with lawmakers here, the White House says he wants to hammer out a COVID relief deal by March 14th, just before extended unemployment runs out.
The risk here, as he has said many times, is not going too big. It is going too small.
Democrats are already making moves to pass Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus without Republican support.
We are not going to dilute, to dither, to delay.
We're off to a totally partisan start. I think that's unfortunate.
The administration's COVID response team announced they're increasing vaccine shipments to states and rolling out 1 million doses to thousands of pharmacies beginning next week. But Americans may still find it hard to get a shot.
It's going to be a couple of months. This is not an administration that's going to overpromise.
Meantime, President Biden is pivoting to immigration.
I'm not making new law. I'm eliminating bad policy.
Signing executive orders to reunite families, reform the asylum system, and review legal immigration policies, all while warning migrants not to try to cross the border. So a bit of a mixed message to Central American migrants making their way to the border. The Biden administration saying they're trying to make things better and easier and more efficient at the border, but that now is not the time to come. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
Meantime, discussion continues among Republicans regarding Congresswoman Majorie Green's role in both the House and the party. This after rare and tough criticism of a fellow Republican came from Senator Mitch McConnell on Monday. McConnell weighed in on Green's long history of false conspiracy theories, calling them in part loony lies and a cancer on the party and the country. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy is facing demands from Democrats and some in his own party to lead the effort toward removing Green from committee assignments. McCarthy met with Green late last night to discuss the issue, but it's unknown how the party will move forward. From our 17 News follow-up file now, the community came together last night to pray for the safe return of 2 missing boys from California City. The Bakersfield chapter of the NAACP organized a candlelight prayer and prayer vigil for 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Orrin West. The boys were reported missing from their adoptive parents' home in California City back on December 21st. Last night's vigil was held outside the Bakersfield home where the boys lived before they were adopted.
All you guys that are praying and keeping hope alive and, helping, offering for, to do whatever you can to help us. And we just thank you guys all from, every city and state, just keep praying. The prayer is powerful, so let's just keep praying and keep hope alive.
Cal City Police Chief John Walker released a statement about the investigation. It reads, California City Police Department is still actively and aggressively, along with other agencies, working hard to solve the case of the 2 missing toddlers, Orrin and Orson West. We appreciate all the hard work the community has done to try and assist us and support us thus far. Please keep your eyes and ears open and report anything you have that can possibly bring them home safely. A man accused in a deadly drunk driving crash had his hearing postponed yesterday. 35-year-old Jesus Mendoza is charged with 2 counts of gross vehicular manslaughter and driving under the influence. The crash involved 3 vehicles and happened last Sunday at the intersection of Union Avenue and Brundage Lane. 2 of Mendoza's passengers were killed and 2 were critically injured. Officials say Mendoza did not appear in court because he's quarantined due to COVID-19. According to the Superior Court website, he's due in court today.
In your 17 Crime Watch, police say a man carjacked a vehicle, then led officers on a chase before being taken into custody over the weekend. Police say it happened on Golden State Avenue Saturday night. A woman said she was in her car when an armed man ordered her to get out before stealing her car. Officers identified that man as Steven Rosales. When police found him driving the car, he refused to pull over. That's when officers chased him to Chester Lane. He was taken into custody shortly after. Police say a loaded gun believed to be used in the carjacking was recovered. Rosales was arrested on charges of carjacking, gang participation, and other related charges. And a man was arrested Monday night after leading deputies on a pursuit in a stolen car. The sheriff's office said it happened around 6 p.m. when a deputy tried to pull over a car near Decatur Street and Sequoia Drive. KCSO says the driver did not stop and led deputies on a slow-speed pursuit. That's when deputies learned the car had been reported stolen. KCSO says the driver eventually stopped on Wilson Avenue near Grant Drive. He was arrested and booked into jail on suspicion of driving a stolen car, evading police, and for having 2 active warrants. Here at home, the Kern County Library's new Job Seeker Toolkit has officially launched. The toolkit includes free virtual and on-demand library support through workshops, tutorials, and programming. The toolkit also includes recommended books, ebooks, and audiobooks on job-seeking strategies, writing cover letters, and more. The library is hosting a 2-hour program titled Job Seeking in a Digital World. It's happening on Wednesday. For more information, just go to kerncountylibrary.org. And today marks another Webinar Wednesday hosted by the Cal State Bakersfield Small Business Development Center. This week, they're talking about California's $500 million relief grant and new updates on the Paycheck Protection Program. They also have more information on the Employee Retention Tax Credit, the new Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and more. The 47th Webinar Wednesday is today from noon till 1 p.m. You can find more details on their website, csub-cbdc.com. The Kern County Law Enforcement Agency, is partnering with the Bakersfield 3 charity for its annual Tea for 3 golf tournament fundraiser. Proceeds will be donated to Kern Secret Witness. That's a nonprofit that offers rewards for anonymous information leading to the arrest and conviction in a case. The Bakersfield 3 charity was spearheaded by the moms of James Kolstad, Michael Holsenbach, and Bailey Despot. who were either murdered or went missing within weeks of each other in the spring of 2018. Despot and her one-time boyfriend Matthew Queen have been charged in the killing of Holzenbeek. Queen pleaded not guilty. Despot has still never been found. The golf tournament is happening at the Seven Oaks Country Club on April 19th. To register and pay online, just go to bakersfield3.org and click on the events tab, or you can also call 431-8851.
Your Times 510. He was a lifelong Taft resident who made many contributions to the city and the county. Now the late Bob Hampton will have a street named for him. The Taft City Council voted last night a request to rename East Cedar Street to Bob Hampton Road. Bob Hampton passed away last May at the age of 82. He was one of the forces behind the Taft Oil Worker Monument and the Westside Healthcare Foundation, Taft's primary healthcare facility. A budding photographer who set out to capture some beautiful nature shots caught something much more personal instead. Check this out. The photographer inadvertently captured a proposal on camera. He says he was at the park at Riverwalk Saturday afternoon trying to get a shot of a waterfall when he spotted a man get down on one knee, ring in hand. As she said yes, the photographer snapped a few shots and then the happy couple walked away. The photographer appealed for help finding the couple to give them the photos, and this morning we're happy to tell you the couple reached out to us after seeing the story on our Facebook page. And 17's Nicole Gitsky will have their story today on 17 News at 5. What a lucky shot. What an amazing moment to capture.
Your time number is 522 and a look at world news now. A Moscow court yesterday sentenced Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny to 3.5 years in jail after ruling he had violated the terms of his parole. The 44-year-old was arrested at the Russian border on January 17th after returning from Germany. He was in Berlin recovering from being poisoned with a military-grade nerve agent that he blamed on the Kremlin. The court said Navalny violated the terms of his probation while he was recuperating in Germany. Captain Tom Moore, a British veteran who won admirers around the world for his pandemic fundraising, has died. Moore walked his way to hero status in the United Kingdom for a fundraiser to benefit the country's National Health Service. He raised some $41 million by walking laps of his garden during last year's lockdown. Moore died yesterday, 2 days after his family announced he was hospitalized with COVID-19. Moore was 100 years old, and he was truly an inspiration, not just for the United Kingdom, but for people around the world, especially during that lockdown. It was great to see his enthusiasm, and such a humble man as well.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back in your 17 Business Watch, and big Super Bowl parties may be off the table this year, but at a time when many of us are spending more time in front of a TV, it is a good time to get a good deal on a new set. NBC's Liz McLaughlin has a look.
This Super Bowl Sunday, seating will be limited at Tampa's Raymond James Stadium, meaning even more football fans will be watching from home. Luckily, it's one of the best times of the year to score a deal on a big screen for the big game.
You know, the biggest price drops we've seen have been in 65, 70, 75-inch TVs, sometimes 20 to 30% less this year than they were last year.
Hundreds off Consumer Reports' top-rated models, recommending 4K resolution or higher and an OLED display, so you can get a great view from anywhere in the room.
When you stand off to the side of an OLED, the picture quality doesn't degrade at all. It's still bright, it's still colorful, it still maintains the dark contrast.
No matter what kind of TV you end up bringing home, you'll probably want to grab one of these. It's $5, called an anchoring kit or sometimes a safety strap, and you can use it to secure your TV whether you're mounting it to the wall or leaving it on the stand. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is again reminding consumers to secure TVs and furniture to avoid tip-over accidents, which injure about 6,000 kids each year.
If there are going to be bruises and injuries around the Super Bowl, let's leave them on the football field, not in your house and not with your kids.
Making safety more than a position ahead of Super Bowl 55. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.